Jackson Powers Johnson is the best center in the NFL draft. What's up, guys? Swift here. Today I'm giving my full scouting report on JPJ, Oregon's center, and the guy I believe is the best center in this year's draft class. Let's get right into it. In preparation for this video, I watched 10 games of film from JPJ's 2023 tape and 4 from 2022 when he played guard. He played the 2023 season at just 20 years old. He just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. He's 6'3", 335 pounds. He's 6'3", 335 pounds, and was the best center in the nation this year. He played the entire 2023 season at center, and in 2022 he started 11 games, but he was at guard. In 2021 he played a mix of guard and center, but played limited snaps. Let's go ahead and get right into his strengths and weaknesses. Starting off with his strengths, he had a 90.6 pass blocking grade this year. He never allowed a single sack in his entire college career, and he only gave up one quarterback hit in nearly 1,400 snaps at Oregon. He was comfortable making line calls and adjustments. He has violent hands with impressive technique. He has an incredible anchor. Honestly, he's one of the strongest interior linemen I've ever studied. He looked even better at the Senior Bowl. He's a fluid mover for his size with impressive athleticism. He has a massive frame with real NFL power and a broad base. He loves to impose his will and dominate defenders. You don't see a guy pancaking his opponents much more than this guy. He's an elite pass protector and dominating run blocker. He's a tone setter who plays with a nasty demeanor on the field. He always blocks to the whistle. He's so technically sound, and he has upside to get even better. He dominates on duo and combo blocks and excels at climbing to the second level to dominate linebackers or DBs. He has great footwork to help him recover when he does get beat. He's versatile and can play guard or center. He's very smart, keeps his head on a swivel, and recognizes stunts and extra blitzers. He's a fun, charismatic guy who projects to be an anchor on an offensive line with high character and immense upside. What are his weaknesses? Ryan Poles typically prefers more length and athleticism. Both could be question marks with JPJ. I think he looked very athletic down at the Senior Bowl, but if he's unable to test at the Combine, teams could have some question marks. He had too many holding calls this past year, 9 total penalties in 2023 and 14 overall. He only has 1 full year as a starter at center. Some teams prefer more experience from a starting center. He needs to learn to keep his pad level lower. He has a tendency to play upright at times. He'll lose balance occasionally while trying to pancake his opponents. And he might be the heaviest center in draft history at 335 pounds. He also didn't face a ton of top competition on tape, but he dominated the nation's best players at the Senior Bowl, so he answered my question there. Again, I thought he looked extremely athletic for his size at the Senior Bowl, and I watched him closely firsthand. Overall, I think he's easily cemented himself as the best center in this year's draft, and in my opinion should be a lock to go in the first round. I think realistically he goes somewhere between pick 15 and pick 25. I think the Jags, Bengals, and Steelers make a lot of sense if the Bears don't trade down, but obviously I'd prefer the Bears to trade down from that number 9 pick and land JPJ somewhere in that range. I think he'd be perfect for us to come in here and be a day 1 starter at center and a tone setter. On tape, he's just nearly flawless, a perfect pass protector, never given up a sack in his entire career. He has the versatility to play guard or center. He has a high floor and a Pro Bowl type of ceiling. Jackson Powers Johnson is my favorite offensive lineman in this year's draft class. I spoke to him 4 different times down at the Senior Bowl. He was my offensive player of the week. He fits the profile for what the Bears look for in an interior offensive lineman. My only concern would be his arm length, but playing center, I don't believe that's a concern to me. Jackson Powers Johnson is the perfect player for Ryan Poles to target to finally solve our issue at the center position. I would be blown away if Ryan Poles was able to land this guy in the draft. Right now, we'd have to trade down from that number 9 pick in order to do so, but I'm certainly not ruling that out. He's a perfect target for the Chicago Bears, and he would immediately upgrade our entire offensive line. Jackson Powers Johnson should be an immediate impact player in the NFL and be an anchor in the middle of an offensive line. He's a plug-and-play day one starter with the upside of being one of the best centers in football. Remember his name. I think this year's center class in the NFL draft is a pretty intriguing one, and there are other names out there that I really like at the position. But right now, Jackson Powers Johnson stands out as the best in the class. I will be continuing my scouting reports. Next up on my list is Malik Nabers. I've already began the process of watching his 2023 season. Stay tuned for that. Let me know what other guys you want to see me break down. Thanks to everyone who watches. I put a ton of work into these videos. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.
My favorite part of your game is your physicality and your anchor. When you get your hands on guys, you love to dominate them, sometimes even put them in the ground on pancakes. Is that something you take pride in doing?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if you're an offensive lineman, the first thing that's like a receiver has a touchdown, running back has like a hurdle or a juke, lineman has a pancake. So that's the icing on the top for us, and I like cake. So.
I like it. And is there anything you wanted to show the scouts specifically down here in Mobile?
That I was the best center off the board, and I'm going to love wherever I go, and I'm a person that they can definitely draft for sure.
Man, I appreciate it. We'd love to have you in Chicago. Can you say a bear down for us?
Yeah, bear down. Baby.
I appreciate it, man.